welcome back, everybody. For everybody that doesn't know, I'm A-Lou. This is 24-8-Lou. You can catch me on all podcast platforms. For my YouTube people and for my podcast people, you can catch me on YouTube under Aaron Michael Lewis. And for everything else, you can catch at the end of my video so you guys can like, follow, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Today has been a solid day. Got up early, hit the gym, just a really feel good day. But I was like kind of thinking, like brainstorming, like what do I want to talk about today? What do I want to really speak about? I want to talk about home. What's home? And a lot of people talk about it being, a physical space or a space you create emotionally, spiritually, mentally. And I think when you have a home, whatever your description of that, then it's easier to live, your life. Because you're not searching for a home. You're not searching for a space where you feel like you're welcome or accepted. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. It was very hard to choose a subject. I will not lie to you. I was struggling. I was like, should I talk about something motivational or should I talk about something, I don't know. I like to talk about things that we think about or we don't think about or we try to avoid thinking about daily. And today I was like, ooh, home's good. We're going to talk about home. And before, I always thought home was a physical space because, as a child, you grew up in a home. You grew up in a home that your parents built for you. But that's why I thought it was a physical space, because it was something somebody else did for me. It was something that somebody else had to help me guide through. It's not that I couldn't think for myself. I just didn't have a sound ground to step on and walk on. So my home was my physical front door, back door, front yard, backyard, whatever my parents built for me to live in. That was my home. I didn't start questioning home until, I would say between the ages of like 10 and 13, those preteen years. Like, well, is this a home for me? Is this something that I'm comfortable in? Could you start to ask questions around that age? Well, for me, I did. Some may be earlier for people, some may be older, just depending on how your life was. And I was like, all right, maybe, I started to hate my home because I didn't fit in that home anymore. But it wasn't the physical space. It was never the physical space. It was the space where, as an individual, I was starting to develop these feelings and these emotions I didn't as a child. Not that I didn't, I don't want to say I wasn't allowed to. So, when you have parents, they think for you. They want to be that for you because they look at it as a level of protection. And sometimes it's restriction. And, you can't really judge your parents for that because they're learning how to be a parent as they go. They're another human figuring things out. Just like we're a kid when we're babies, when we're crying, we don't understand certain things, or when we're kids, we complain. We're figuring things out. Our parents are figuring things out because they're humans trying to live in this world. So, and we came from them. So they're like, I don't want to mess this up. So in those ages between 10 and 13, I was trying to figure out what that was. And it carried on to high school and to college and, my mid-20s. And I can't say I fully, have that, but I feel like I'm there in that process because now home is whatever I make it to be. And it's something that I've built. And now I know, like, if I've had a bad day, I can go to this place in my mind to where I feel comfortable recovering, rebooting, recharging, that I've built to be home. And I'm just like, ooh, this feels right. And it doesn't always have to be my recliner, lounge chair, couch, bed inside these walls, inside these doors to be home. Say if I'm traveling and I've built this space to where I have these people in my life that make me feel at home again, or I do things that make me feel at home again. I've created that space spiritually and emotionally for myself, and you have to set boundaries. That's the most important part. For some people in your life that you think that you have to keep in your life because how long you've known them, that's not true. Or because what they've done for you, that's not true. Like, okay, they may have done some key things in your life that helped you grow. But if you outgrew that space, you don't have to stay in that space. Because then now you're torturing yourself. Now you're bouncing around. People have such a strong influence from their surroundings that it's important that your surroundings match you. People with their friends. If you're trying to keep up more with your friends rather than just be who you are, that's a problem. And I see that a lot, to where I see people find happiness because they have so many people around them. And they mistake that type of vibration of something that actually feeds them as a person rather than just something that's, temporary. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you're seen to be happy, or it seems like you're happy. Like, your eyes may deceive you. Your eyes may not match your heart and your soul. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have all this stuff in your life. Like, you get to have that Sunday fun day every week. You're out and about doing things, moving. And it's the same thing when I hear people say, like, oh, people that think they're being productive as something that's living. It's the same thing when you think you're going out all the time, you're traveling all the time, you're doing all these things all the time. Yes, if you're able to do that, you are blessed. But is that something that is actually feeding you, though? You know what I'm saying? Can you sit still? Ask yourself that. Can you sit still? What is home to you? And that's what I wanted to raise awareness around today, because once you have that base of home, once you have that, life starts to become easier. Because when you're moving always, and you don't answer those questions, or you don't have that home base, when the world stops, or when you're removed, those things removed from your life, then what are you? Who are you? You know what I'm saying? Like, when COVID hit, that was a shell shock for a lot of people. That made them be like, question a lot of things about themselves. Some people found the answers. Some people just drowned themselves in other things so they didn't have to hear the answers. And I think that was the first time when things were removed from your life, stripped down, and who are you? And it's a scary question. It's a scary transition. It's a scary process. And you're just like, I don't know. I'm not here to cast judgment or make you feel bad about your life or what you're doing. My only thing is to raise awareness, to be honest with you. And I think that's why I enjoy what I do. And when I talk to people, I don't ever want them to feel like they can't really speak what they truly feel or what they truly see, or, because that's the most important thing about life is, being able to have that space where you feel comfortable in speaking and who you are. Not a lot of people have that. And I think we get shut down, whether it's by, our parents, our friends, our loved ones, significant others, whatever you want to call it. We feel like we can't, or we're too nervous to, if we show them that side, that we feel like they'll just leave our space, won't understand us. And that's crazy. If somebody truly loves you, they'll take the good with the bad. And if they don't, you gotta give them the boot, man. Like, if you can't really speak your mind and you're tiptoeing around something just because you don't want to, you feel like, somebody will leave you or won't be with you, won't love you the same, that's no way to live. It's a terrible way to live. You're making yourself suffer. So that's why I wanted people to start to think about, like, what's your home? What's your definition of home? Do you have a home? Do you feel comfortable in that home? I think that's the biggest thing. Yes, we build a house. Yes, we build a home, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. Do you feel comfortable inside that home? Can you be yourself inside that home? Because if you can't be yourself at home, if you can't be yourself when you're just with you, how do you expect to ever be yourself outside of that? Like, how do you ever expect to live a life for you? And those are the scariest things that I feel like we go through as humans, is like processing all that. And I will tell you, it's not easy, but it's worth it. It's a fight that's worth it. It's not I don't have sunshine every day, but when the rain comes, at least I feel at home. When the storm comes, at least I could sit still and watch the storm pass rather than trying to be eager and fight the storm when I don't have to. Storms pass. People think they always have to put up a fight or they have to do something. Sometimes there's power in sitting still. Because things pass, and they're meant to pass. Sometimes they're a test, sometimes they're not. But if you know who you are, then you know when that time comes what the right decision is. And that's the most important thing. I just wanted to say thank you all for tapping in with me once again. So the question of the day is, do you have a home? What's your home? Do you feel comfortable inside your home? So that's what I wanted to raise awareness around today. I love you all for always tapping in with me. Thank you. You guys are the greatest. You guys know me. I'm A-Lou. This is 24A-Lou. You guys know my mantra. Sage. Sacrifice, achieve, grow, exceed. And until next time, y'all stay blessed. Thanks for tuning in for another episode of Life with Lou. I'm A-Lou, and until next time, y'all have a good one.